everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. We are here for the 148th episode here of the Talk That Talk Show, and even though it's not our customary Friday night episode, I'm just happy to be here and spend a Monday night with you all here on the Talk That Talk Show. For those of you that don't know, the pandemic definitely changed a lot of things for me. And one of the things that I had to get used to was the fact that COVID was a part of everything. And one of the things that COVID kind of changed for me was kind of the landscape of how I covered sports and what I was able to do and not able to do. And I think we all saw with the loss of sports for a little bit of time just how difficult that was. But for a lot of people that don't know, I covered sports for so many years, and I think over 5-6 years, done almost over 100 games at the Garden for the Knicks, did the Giants, did the Jets, and it was so easy to just go to the games and do high quality content. But then when something out of your control kind of hinders the things that you're able to do, it's a very tough pill to swallow. And one of the things that I'd always looked forward to doing growing up, I loved college basketball. It was always something in my blood and what I enjoyed the most. And one of the biggest times and some of my best memories come from watching the Big East tournament, right? And, when I first started, that was one of the biggest major things that I covered back then. And, with losing, things from COVID, that was one of the things that I really had missed, because I loved going to the Garden and I loved, being a part of that atmosphere. And there's literally nothing like the Garden in the Big East tournament, or for a Knicks game for that matter. But, the one thing I will say is that, I had the opportunity. My boy Vern hit me up, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want you to come here and cover the tournament. We got the credentials back." And it was so dope because I had taken we had 2 years off because when COVID hit, they canceled the Big East tournament. I was supposed to be there, and I remember, I think it was like mid-game or something like that. There was a game playing and they just straight up canceled it. I don't know if people remember that. And then the following year, we weren't able to get credentials for that. So again, the situations were out of my control, but I missed doing that tournament. And then to be able to be there for semifinal games and then the Big East final, it was a surreal feeling. I made a joke when I was in the breezeway. I was like, "You guys remember where the bathroom is?" Because I couldn't remember where the bathroom was. And it was like, I think one of the ladies had said to me, she was like, "You'll find your way. You won't forget." But it's like riding a bike or something like that. And I was just so hyped just to be there. And again, the atmosphere between Villanova and UConn. I mean, that game was absolutely bananas, man. And to see a final game where you have Villanova against a Creighton team that was ranked 8th, preseason, to go out there and play in the Big East championship game, it's almost like a nice appetizer to the big dance that we've all come accustomed to watching. And I actually got the notification after Selection Sunday to restart my bracket challenge again. And every year, this will actually be the 8th year in a row that I'm running it. But I do a bracket challenge, so if you want, you can message me, reach out to me, and I'll send you the link to that. It's $20 for a bracket. We pay out pretty good, man, and it's nice to, put yourself out there and see if you got the best picks, because the brackets, college basketball is fun enough to watch, but when you add the ability to bet on it with the brackets and the heartbreak and trying to predict how crazy that shit can happen, it's something I look forward to every single week, man. But, moving with it, I just was, again, trying to get into being back out there. And, the one thing that, like I said before to you guys previously with, not being back out there for so long, you kind of, almost take it for granted. So, even though the first game was a blowout and, we weren't actually able to get onto the floor like we usually do at the end of the final, I didn't want to ruin the moment. And one of the things that I said to on my Facebook was that, to be patient, because, with persistence, your opportunities will come. And I think that was verification for me, with working that Big East tournament and being able to be back where I used to be and have a sense of feeling that I was where I was supposed to be. And then, coming into it on today, where, when I talk about, building things and starting things from scratch, I had the opportunity, and when we talked before about being persistent, little did I know, I had sent in a billion, resumes and, applied to a bunch of different jobs all the time because, I'm a guy that likes to keep my options open. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But, I reached out to this job a year ago, and they reached out to me recently and were like, hey, we'd like to interview you. We had your your resume on file, and we have something for you. And, I was able to, right after school today, to get down on the laptop in my office and interview for another job while at my job, and I thought that was pretty cool because at the end of the day, I remember when I was working at, Playworks and stuff, having to take off or having to make an excuse or something like that to go on an interview with somewhere else. But, the one thing that I always say about with keeping your options open is also being ready for any opportunities that are available. I think that, to have someone who you reached out to over a year ago still reach out to you and say, hey, we want to interview, we think you would be good for this position, regardless of whether I get the job or not. It's great experience to go out there and prove to yourself that, you're comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that, at times when people, stay in a certain place, they get content with that and there's no progress to try and move forward. So, even though I'm having a great time here at PS 158 and, doing a great service to the kid, that doesn't mean that I'm not always open to opportunities to better advance myself. And I think that everyone else out there should, see that the same way, whereas you may have something in the bag or where you're, super comfortable, but don't be afraid to entertain your other options, man. You got to be ready for whatever comes your way. So, I've come out with an OG 15 that said consistency on it. And one of the things that, they asked me in the interview is, with this not being so much a sports-related position because you're very based in sports, what does that mean for you? And I was just so happy to answer to them that, realistically, I love sports. Sports are the one thing that I really love. But at the end of the day, sports aren't exactly what makes me. There's multiple things to me. And, to be able to tell this guy that's interviewing me that sports have merely been the bridge to find what I'm truly passionate about, which is literally building things from scratch and selling things. I mean, to tell you guys that, I've had my own hat reselling business to where, we started out just flipping hats at Pro Image, man. There's all humble beginnings, but then to have, pin releases in stores and then to go with my boy Kenny Lou and secure a spot at CapCon in New York City. I mean, guys, May 14th is going to be a movie, and, to be able to release different colorways, and, that's one of the things that we talk about here on this show is that, it's one thing to access certain things and I think they call them KPIs, where it's like, you're trying to get those key progress indicators or things that make you go forward. And, I think one of the indicators for us is that when people see that first level success, it stops there. But, to continue to climb the ladder and see just how far you can go, I think you'd surprise yourself, and a lot of people surprise themselves when they push themselves. So, I'm just going to continue to push. You never be content and just grind, man. I think that when you continuously go forward in the right direction, not only do you infuse yourself, but you can inspire so many other people as well, too. And, that's why it was so important for me, even though I was so, upset that I couldn't record on Friday and Saturday, then had a family event on Sunday. So, I wanted to make it a point to say that on a Monday, even though it's not our customary time, I'm still going to come to you guys and drop an episode of the Talk That Talk Show. And Friday, it's still going to be regular programming. You're going to get another episode of the Talk That Talk Show. And like my boy Brian Spawn says, Barry continuing to make big boy moves. And yo, it's so crazy because he was on a text with me and we were talking about how he was talking about trying to make his own business and think about the things that he wanted to name his business, and to be an inspiration to that and have conversations with people that are trying to advance themselves. It's so huge because at the end of the day, when I was already planning to record this episode on a Monday, he had already texted me and said, "Hey, I didn't get an episode of the Talk That Talk show this week. What's going on?" We had my boy Jeff, G.R. Farrell, was like, "Yo, we didn't get an episode of the Talk That Talk show this week. Yo, what's going on?" So, to have those people that, really are hungry for this show, they really want to see what's going on in my life. They really want to know what moves are we making. I'm just appreciative of that platform every single day. And that is why I have for you all a guest for this show tonight. Thank you for rocking with me on a Monday. So I had to make it worth your while, right? So this guy right here is one of my really good friends. I've met him through the bowling scene. I bowl with him in tournaments out of state. And he's just become, a really good friend, man. And I'm just happy to share a little time with him on Monday. And I'm going to share some time with you guys here, too. So everyone, please give a big round of applause for my boy, Vinnie Booker!
What's good, my guy?
Oh, man! And
appreciate the intro.
And look at this guy coming in with the OG2 hoodie. Oh my gosh, man.
I have to represent for you, man.
Yo, I appreciate you so much. So what does it mean to you, Vinny, to literally come here on the show?
We've been trying to get this together for a minute now, so I'm just happy to be here. I love what you're doing, and I'm here to support my brother. That's it.
And I appreciate that, man. I see you got the dope Nassau hat here, man. I mean, for those people that will see on our Instagram, Facebook Live, YouTube, it is absolutely fire. I mean, I know I've talked a little bit about hats and, how much I love them.
Yeah.
What are the types of hats that you like to rock, and, how much do you like hats?
I think I'm a dad hat guy. I used to be a fitted guy. I used to like snapbacks. I used to have like hundreds of snapbacks in my closet, but I gave them away. So now I'm just a dad hat guy. I like it simple. It's easy to put on. It's comfortable. So.
Well, you talk about comfortability, and that's one of the things as to why I was like, yo, I know that I got, the hat game. I love my hats. But, one thing that I've seen that's kind of like tied into it big with the hat game has been the sneaker game. And I know that that's one of your favorite things. So can you talk a little bit about, just, some of your favorite kicks and how you got into the sneaker game?
I got into the sneaker game. Quick story, because when I was younger, I couldn't afford them. So when I got older, got a job, was working 2 jobs, I would just buy a pair of sneakers like every week. I would just, and then I just kept building up my collection. So, I mean, I like all types of sneakers. I'm not a Jordan guy. I'm not a Air Max guy. I just like everything. I like a little bit of everything.
Well, what's like the sneaker right now that you see yourself, that's like your go-to sneaker right now?
Honestly, right now, it's some Pumas.
Ooh, okay.
They're really comfortable, man. If you don't have a pair of Pumas, get a pair of Pumas.
Now, I've been trying every while just to try and get into the hat raffles, I was actually able to score some Yeezy Oreos, and I was so surprised. I remember saying to Doc, I'm like, yo, I actually hit, man. So I like.
I heard those are pretty comfortable.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Have you had a pair of Yeezys yet? Or?
Yeah, I got a pair of Yeezys. Those are comfortable, but when you put your feet in Pumas, it just feel like your foot melts into the shoe.
Ooh, I might have to try that out.
And they're not expensive.
And
you can get them.
My boy Nike All-Star says Pumas are cozy. But, I definitely would like to say also that, I have met Vinny through the bowling game. Yeah. And, I think that bowling's something that I'm starting to see more and more people be interested in and kind of see why would you like to bowl? Like, what's going on with it? So, being that I've met you through bowling, like, what does bowling mean to you, Vinny? And kind of like, how did you get into bowling?
All right, so bowling for me is just an outlet. I mean, it's just you get to meet different people besides just the regular bowling. You get to meet different people, build relationships like me and you did. Mm-hmm. So. I mean, I enjoy bowling. Bowling is fun. And how I got into bowling, they used to do this thing on Sundays where I think it used to be like like $3 a game. So I used to go to Carolier, and then bowl every Sunday. Me and my friends would go there, and then I joined the league, and then that was it from there.
Wow, and like
I think I bowled in a vacation league.
Oh, you did bowl? I do want to do those one of these days, man. But we have seen that from you being in league, you've become much more competitive as well too. So
Yeah, for sure.
how would you say you've gotten yourself better from when you first started in bowling?
I don't know. I just care more, and I don't like to lose. So that's another thing that's driving me. But other than that, I just enjoy the competition. The competition is what really drives me, and just picking other people's brains. We've been bowling for a while, so I'll take that information and incorporate it in my game, and watching YouTube videos, and it's just so much information out there now. So
facts,
yeah.
And I know that we were talking about how I kind of upgraded my arsenal a little bit as far as equipment. What bowling balls are you throwing right now, and what bowling balls are you looking at in the future?
I'm definitely looking at that Altered Reality.
Okay, and that's Global 900, right?
Yeah, Global 900 and Wolverine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I started out actually bowling with Global 900. My first ball was a Honey Badger Claw, and
that's a classic.
It was a great. I bowled with it for a couple seasons, but at least I think for me, I'm actually going out on a limb and trying my first hammer ball, which I think is the Black Widow White Ghost or something like that. But for you, have you ever thrown a hammer? What's your thoughts about those hammer balls?
Actually, the first ball I threw was a hammer.
Really?
Yeah, the first ball I ever threw was a hammer. I think it was it's called. Remember the Sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I threw that ball. I still have it in my garage.
I think it was a bluish ball. I think it was.
It's like a yellowish ball.
Okay.
It's like gold actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, and that's the one thing, man. There's so many good bowling balls out there. Yeah. You just kind of have to find something that's tailored to your game.
No,
man.
for sure. Yeah.
And I think that also comes through practice. And I haven't gotten as much practice out there this season. We're actually gonna go practicing after we get off the air tonight.
Much needed.
Yeah. So just how often do you practice, and how important do you think it is for people to practice?
I mean, when I can, I try to practice at least twice a week.
Okay.
Other than just bowling in leagues, but I haven't been able to recently, so I'm trying to get back on track.
Yeah.
While we going tonight.
Hey, it's always there's never too late to get out there for some practice and get some tips. So I think that us at least it kind of speaks to just how important it is to have those people around you that are pushing you. We have my dad who hit me up saying, "Yo, do you want to practice today?" And then kind of synced up with you how you wanted to practice. It's that kind of source of positive energy flowing that can help create positive results, man. So, just how important it is for you, Vinny, to keep people like that around you to push you.
Very important, because I mean, those kind of people make you, make you go higher in life. You want those kind of people in your corner, because those are the people who are going to push you when you don't feel like being pushed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's good to have people like that. I appreciate it. You always need a good push sometimes. You don't feel like doing something. You don't feel like being bothered. Mm-hmm. It's those people that come around and be like, "Hey, let's go do this. Let's get some practicing." So.
And that's definitely, like you said, very necessary. And to have that around you, bro, there's no telling what you can do. And I think that for you, you've been someone that, you'll hit me up and you'll be like, "Yo, we got this tournament. Let's try it out." And I think that that's so dope, man. And like I said, I appreciate that so much. And, for you to come here on the show and, show a little bit about yourself, it means the world to me. Yeah. And I know you're very also passionate about basketball. So,
of course.
You've seen the landscape of how things are going right now.
Yeah.
Who is your MVP right now? And what team are you picking to win it all right now?
MVP? I gotta give it to Joel Embiid. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I don't even like the Sixers, but Joel Embiid has to get the MVP right now. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, well, he has been putting up good numbers. I definitely think that some people would say that he's well deserving of winning the MVP. But here's what I'm telling you.
What you got?
I'm telling you, I think that John Morant. Oh, look who Kevin Rosen just put in the chat. I'm saying John Morant has got to be the MVP. If you saw what he did against the Knicks and what you see that he's doing in a stacked Western Conference where, I mean, dude, he's putting up damn near 40 a night. And
listen, he is on a tear right now.
He's the truth.
He is trying to prove something to everybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not even mad at that. I'm not mad at that pick. I'm not mad at it. But I just think Embiid is just doing something special right now.
We also have Theo who says Joker for the MVP. What do you think about Nikola Jokic or whatever for being MVP?
He's up there. I mean, I just got him right underneath Embiid, personally.
Well, I don't know. I still got to put my boy John Morant, man. I mean, that Memphis team was awful before. I mean, when you talk about,
I just think it's crazy, me personally, that two big men are going crazy in a game that's made for guards right now.
True,
it's kind of crazy. I mean, people will say it's easy, but it's not easy because they got to run up and down the court with them players too, and that's kind of crazy. So, I mean, I think the big men, just for this year, are going to get my vote.
Well, I think that both sides are definitely right in their own aspect, but we definitely got to give you your pick as far as who you think's going to win it all. So, who you think is going to win in the NBA all time for the chip right now?
All right, so depending on Chris Paul's injury, I think it's Phoenix.
Ooh, I tell you what.
I think Phoenix will finally win it this year.
Yeah,
I just want Chris Paul to get a ring. I don't know why, but
I feel like every time it's time for him to win the ring, some mysterious injury happens, man.
Crazy.
So who's to say that this isn't the year that he gets hurt yet again?
I don't know. I can't speak for that, but I do know if Phoenix gets to the championship, they will win it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to pick them, but I think that if you got to go with, a team that, has done it, has had success, I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Warriors, man. I think that, the way that Steph Curry is playing, and it's crazy how we didn't put him in the MVP conversation.
That is kind of crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, I thought about it, I'm like, shit, how did I not think about Steph Curry? But it's hard not to make a case for him, even after a whole injury-riddled season last season. So, I think that if you're going to ask me, I think people got to consider the Warriors a little bit in there.
I think the Warriors are one of those teams that could get hot at the right time.
Right?
So, I mean, if they could get hot within, the next couple of weeks, I think they got a good chance to.
Facts. Now, I think one of your favorite teams is the Bulls, right? So,
of course.
How are you feeling about your Bulls coming out of the East potentially?
Not this year.
Not this year? What?
No.
They're having one of the record years for
Nah, I'm just going to be real. I mean, we have a good team, good young boys. But if you look at our record, we lose to a lot of the top 500 teams.
Okay.
So I don't know how we're going to do in a 5-7 game series. So, I mean, I think that this year was a good step up from what we've been doing other years. And I think that if we can stay healthy, I think the next 2 years we're going to be a problem. And we're going to get some more pieces, and it will be all right.
But if you're saying that, the Bulls aren't going to take it out of the East, who is your team to come out of the East this year?
I don't know. That's hard, man. Because...
Do you really want to put faith in the Sixers? Your MVP?
I'm not.
I mean, who are you gonna say is gonna come out of the East?
I think the Nets still have a chance.
Ooh, but here's the thing: we got Kyrie Irving part-time. What about that, man? I mean, what is your thought? I mean, we'll get back to who we think's coming out of the East, but what the fuck is going on with this situation, man? What do you think about that with whole Kyrie not being able to play?
I think it's a clown show. I don't know. I think that letting him sit on the bench and then not letting him play is kind of crazy, but
And then fining him for going into the locker room.
Yeah, so, I mean, but honestly, I'm going to be honest. The rules are the rules, no matter what sport you play. So, I mean, he's not vaccinated, so he can't play in New York. So, that's also a little crazy still, because I think they let people who are not vaccinated play in New York on the away team.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But like I said, I think it's a big clown show, and I think that they need to get it together.
And you look at Eric Adams, I think, who's the mayor of New York. I think he was quoted as saying, Kyrie Irving can play tomorrow. Just get vaccinated. You know what I mean? That's a crazy vote to come from the mayor of New York City, man.
You can't make a grown man do something he don't want to do.
That's what Kyrie Irving stands for. So above anything, we gotta respect him for that. But as a sports fan, you just feel like the Nets are doing themselves a disservice, man.
I definitely feel bad because I do feel like the Bucks are gonna win it though.
We have Theo who says the Bucks are winning the chips.
No, for sure.
I forgot. But what about my boy Ish? He says Miami Heat to go out of the East. What do you think? He said, "Oh no!" He said, "That was the polite way to say hell no." But
I don't know. I feel like Miami, they could win it, but I just feel like I don't know if anybody could beat the Bucks really in a 7-game series.
Facts. And I
feel like they got better.
No,
that's kind of scary.
They did.
I feel like they got better.
Well, they got healthier, too, because I think they got Dante DiVincenzo back, too, from injury. Yeah. He wasn't playing in the finals last year. So, I mean, when you have a healthy roster, it's a lot better, a lot easier to win games, too. But, I think that Giannis is still somebody that teams struggle to find an answer for. And
there's no easy. Forget about it.
You get some 6'11", 6'12" guy running at you full speed on fast break. What are you doing? You taking the charge?
No, thank you.
You going on the poster? Hell no.
You can have it.
I still remember at the park when Kevin Edmonds dunked on me. I don't want nobody to dunk on me, man. That's the only time in my life, man.
No,
But it's just dope to also have baseball that's coming back. I know you're a big Atlanta Braves fan, but, how excited are you to really have baseball back?
I'm excited. I don't like the fact that we just gave away one of our best players, but whatever.
Right?
We already got the ring, so I'm just going to be satisfied.
And where did he go, to the Dodgers?
No, he didn't. I don't think he went anywhere yet. Well, I haven't seen the news, so I don't know. But they say either the Dodgers or the Yankees. And please don't go to the Yankees.
I think he wants to go to the Yankees.
Right. I mean, I feel like everybody wants to at some point wear that those pinstripes, but we got to talk real quick about those METS, Mets. Come on, man. Let's fucking go, Mets. And I'm telling you, we got one of the best rotations. You had, a guy, what's his name? Luke something, Luke Bassett, Cassett or whatever from the Athletics. I think he did pretty good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, let's be real. Anytime you add Max Scherzer to your roster, on top of a healthy DeGrom, you're talking about a guarantee, 40 wins there? All the Mets gotta do is hit. Come on, man.
I mean,
Come on.
We talking about a team that every year we say all the Mets got to do, though. So I don't want to hear none of that. Y'all got to come out and play, man. Y'all got to come out and play.
My boy said Chris Bassett, that's the pitcher. And then, we're getting a lot of hating vibes.
Hey, we just being honest, right?
Right, but, Lou Gehrig does ask a good question. He says, is DeGrom healthy? But, that he has a point there. Is that a big question mark? But, at the end of the day, he's never healthy. But, the talent that he is, I think that there's going to be less pressure on him to go super crazy now that he's got Max Scherzer coming right behind him. I feel like, he's never faltered under the pressure, but I think that at times those injuries might come from when you're, too tense or you're trying to strain a little bit too much, stretch it more than maybe you should. Yeah. I know there was times where DeGrom should have not have pitched, but he still was itching to go out there, and they're pulling him mid-start because he didn't feel good. Yeah. I feel like less of that pressure will be because of the fact that they have a Max Scherzer.
I think that one of the things is that when players get too far ahead of themselves, they got to have good coaching to be like, no, you can't play tonight. Mm-hmm. Like, players can't always be the last answer, man. Sometimes coaches take them out to protect themselves. So
yeah.
They need a lot more of that this year, or he's going to be on the injury list again.
I hope not, man, because, like I said, to have Max out there, and then you got T1 Walker, who was one of our aces, to be your fifth starter now, and I think we still got Carrasco.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we're talking about a rotation that is really good, but...
No, you guys got the people. You got the people. You just got to execute, man.
Yeah, and you know what? I do think Buck Showalter is going to be the answer. It's funny because my dad and my uncle had both asked me at the bar probably a year or so ago who I wanted to be. And I said, why not Buck Showalter? Because at the end of the day, I want a guy with experience. And I feel like a lot of these guys, they've been, experimental guys. I mean, even going back to, what's his name? Carlos Beltran, who didn't even manage a game for us. Yeah. He didn't manage a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about experimental guys. And I feel like, even though, Buck Showalter was on the Orioles for so many years or whatever, he is a good coach with proven experience, with the added rotation that the Mets have. Yeah. I think that we're going to be contending with your Braves a little bit there in the NL East.
We'll see. We'll see.
He's not a believer, but
not yet, at least.
I tell you what, Vin, I want to thank you so much for coming here on the Talk That Talk show and absolutely rocking out the show, man.
Anytime, my guy. I'll be back again.
Yeah, man. We're actually not going to do drink review this day because we're going to be going straight to the bowling alley to try and work on our craft. All right, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that even though I'm not there on my ceremonious Friday night, we still had to come here on a Monday night to show you guys we're being consistent. For those people that reached out to me and said, where's the episode of the Talk That Talk show? This is the one that I'm giving to you all. And to be able to be here on an interview today and have him talk about key points of how I've built this podcast to where it would help them to then build their own brand to where they would like to employ me. That just speaks to the depths of where this show has come from and what can happen when you invest in yourself. So, I have that as my parting advice. But for you, Kenny, do you have, for you, I say Kenny, my fault, man. But Kenny, Vinny. But no, for you, Vinny, what advice would you have for anybody out there to try and help them to be a little bit better tomorrow?
Just protect your mental health at all costs. That's important. No matter what you do in life, protect your mental health. Everything else will come along, but you got to make sure that you're in the right mind and don't let people stop you from enjoying your day, doing what you got to do to get done, and elevate yourself every day.
Man, that's some great words of advice to give them, Vinny, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you once again for coming here on the Talk That Talk show. Sporting the OG2 hoodie, man. What's up, man?
Let's go.
Hey, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This was episode 148. Check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, you name it. We are streaming on all platforms. You can also stay updated on the Talk That Talk Show website at talkthattalkshow.com. I love you all. Thank you so much. This was Vinnie Booker. I will see you guys on Friday for 2 episodes this week of the Talk That Talk Show.